Hello, and welcome back to Happiness Across Borders, an investigation through podcasting. Last time, Anshul shared a cultural perspective deeply rooted in the history of America. In this episode, we'll talk with my friend Anisha about her perspective from a different cultural lens.
Hello.
What is your name, your age, and your grade?
Okay, I'm Anisha Koth. I'm 16 years old, and I'm in 11th grade.
What is your ethnicity and or cultural background or your race? How do you define that, and how do you identify yourself with
Okay,
that?
I'd say I'm both Indian and American because I'm Indian because that's my cultural background. That's what my parents are, and that's what my grandparents are. But I'd say I'm also American because I was born in America. I probably am more closer with like American culture than Indian culture. Yeah.
So that leads into my second question. How closely do you say you would identify with both aspects of that, and what does that mean to you?
I think I find myself like when I introduce myself or something, I'd say I'm more Indian, just because like I think if I say I'm American, people are like, oh, where are you really from? Like obviously 'cause how I look, but I think even though I say I'm like more similar to American culture, I also am. I feel like I am closer with Indian culture too, just in certain aspects of my life with like my morals and what I do like in my social life, but then also like how I dress and how I speak and stuff is more American. So I'd say like I'm like a good balance, or not a good balance, but
a
balanced.
combination of
Yeah.
both. So this is a little bit into a different direction,
Okay.
but on the other side of my questions, what would you say happiness is to you? Like, what would make you happy or happiest? And how important is that to you?
Like this is kind of like a tough spot because like junior years, like I've been thinking about that a lot. But I think happiness is both in success, but also in like my social life. So when like sometimes I'll be like in school and I'll be like thinking like, what do you really want to be happy? And it's like, oh, I want like career success, and I want like I don't really think about like finding like love or like social stuff. But then I think about it outside of school. I'm like, oh, I'd rather do bad in school. Well, obviously I'd rather do good, but I'd rather do bad in school and find like people I connect with and be happy in like a job that like I like than be stressed. So I don't really know. I feel like it's like it depends on what like day it is. Because sometimes I feel like happiness is like, to sum it up, sometimes I think happiness is like success in my like career and like school and stuff, and then other times I think happiness is success in like love, whether it's like platonic or like relationship.
Would you view that as happiness more in the now or in terms of like a long-term vision?
I feel like I think of like future happiness when I think of happiness, because I think, which is like kind of bad, but I think like I focus more on the future and like would I rather be sad now and then happy for like the rest of my life, or like happy now. Like I feel like it's just like a tough spot because you obviously want to be happy all the time, but that's not.
And do you think there's a difference in what makes you happy and what should make you happy? Where do you think that disconnect comes from necessarily, and how do you think that connects to just how you were raised and like what you've been told and just the morals that you've developed?
Yeah, I definitely think there is like a difference in what makes me happy and what like I view as happiness. I mean, there's some overlap, but I think what makes me happy are things that like I don't expect, like things that I'm not like planning on and stuff. And obviously, like grades will make me happy. If I get good on, well, if I do good on a test, that will obviously make me happy. But I think that's more short term, and then long term happiness is just like spontaneous things, like I got a good burger at North Star, like something that I wouldn't like think of. And it's like, oh yay.
That like sparked the in your day to day.
And I think like that does kind of relate to my culture background, because I feel like a lot of people who are Indian will kind of like see like their self in this, but people say, especially like not my immediate family but my outer family, are like, you can only be successful if you're this and this, like it's like lawyer, engineer, doctor. And I think most people try like, oh my god sorry, most people like they try to fit into that, but like then they don't do that. So I think some of my view on happiness is like within that culture, but also because my family, my like mom and my dad are trying to be like different and like kind of break that, I think they're like more supportive of like most things.
So say more about that, like how you were raised personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like your parents, are they sticking to more of like how they were raised in terms of their culture and what they were influenced by, or were they trying to steer you towards a different?
I think they're a mix of both, because obviously you can't just do completely different than how you're raised. So for like school aspects, they're more traditional with like my grandparents, since like good grades. I mean, they do want me to go to college, like they would not let me not go to college, but also they're like kind of more progressive with like be who you want to be, like LGBTQ, and like they don't care about that, like they think it's like fine, rather than my grandparents are like completely conservative. As well as like mental health and stuff. My grandparents are so conservative on that, they like don't believe it exists. And then my mom and my dad are much more progressive. But I don't think that's like, I think that's because things have happened to them and that they want to break.
But not necessarily like a full connection.
Like it's like it's like a balance. So hopefully I'll be like way progressive, so it'll just like break the cycle.
breaking the cycle. And following that too, I guess you kind of talked about this already, but how do you see a difference in your view of happiness and just what it is to you and how important it is to you versus your parents or your relatives' views of that and their perspectives and how it's different?
I think me and my parents' views of happiness are very like similar, and like again they're like more open. But then my like grandparents and my outside relatives, they're all very conservative on both sides of my family. Or like more like the older generation, like my cousins are chill, but they think like happiness is just like traditional rules. So like you have to like, if you don't have kids, that's weird. Like that's where like a woman finds happiness. But so they like definitely have my outside family, especially those who live in India, have a much different aspect than those who live like in Canada or the US or like wherever they live.
So it influences their view of what's going to make you happy in the long term.
And I think even that might be like they want to fit in, and that's what they do to fit in India. Like that's kind of like the norm with their friends and stuff. But then like they try to spread these ideas to people who live in like in Ohio, which is like, or like Cleveland, which is like pretty progressive.
Lifestyle is
there's just different lifestyles.
Interesting. Okay, so this is kind of a different topic, kind of disconnected from in relation to your relatives, but do you think that your personal happiness comes from your intrinsic and personal actions or more from the community around you?
I think it, like, I keep saying both, but I do think it's both. I find happiness with like my actions, like if like I felt like I put my hardest to like a task, but also like socially or like with other people, if they're happy, like I'm happy. I don't know if that's like the question, but
no, that is,
I feel like it's both, like it's a mix, because obviously I'm not gonna be like the happiest person around if like all the people I'm surrounded with are sad, but also if I'm like a little bit sad and everyone else is happy, it kind of like boosts me up.
Do you think that it would be more important for you to focus on your own goals and achievements to find joy in your life, or do you think in the long run it would be more important within the topic of happiness to have success for those that you care about and just the achievements of those around you and who you're interacting with?
I think I'm leaning more to like I feel like this is like more selfish, but I think I'm leaning more to like my personal success, because I think like that'll make me happy, and I know that'll make me happy, because like but also I don't want everyone around me like failing. Like I don't want like I'm the only one to have success. So I think I do find joy from other people's success, and I feel like I don't get jealous. It's person to person. Like some people, especially like here, like would not like it. Like it's like very competitive. So I think that depends on like your aspects, like your like culture, and also the people you surround yourself with.
And do you think that connects as well to like, from what you've observed, at least from your parents or from your grandparents, you said are different, how does that differ from person to person within your own family?
I think they focus on other people, but for their own intrinsic values, if that makes sense.
No,
I think there's like a whole thing where it's like, oh, your cousin did this, like you should be more like this. and then people like brag, oh, my daughter did this. So I think especially in my in my extended family, people kind of like compare on what like their daughter did or what they did or like what their husband did, and then that gives them happiness because they're like really, they have a relationship, but like they didn't do it. So it is from other people, but like it gives them happiness. Does that make sense?
So kind of taking the community and like and putting it into their own.
Yeah. Even though they didn't do anything, but like.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well. That's
Yay!
all the questions
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.